Hello, my name is Chris Garner. This is my student dialogue on race and ethnicity. So I guess I'll start with talking about my group dynamic or how the group worked. I think we did achieve a dialogue. The group seemed to we all had the same opinions on most of the things, but we did talk a good bit. There was the group worked we did decent together, but there wasn't many people talking. There was 5 or 6 people I guess you would call an active voice, but for the most part, people just kind of sat around and listened to the people that were talking, and so the ladies in charge of it often had to call on people to get them to answer. They wouldn't answer for themselves. As for my role, I think I was an active participant. I gave my opinion on most all the questions they asked, and I thought I had a pretty active role, and I had a discussion dialogue with the lady in charge of it, or whatever you want to call her. We had a pretty good long, almost I would call it debate about the topic of racism, because what she was trying to tell us was not really what she was talking about. She was trying to play down the role of the melting pot in the country, which is what myself and many of the people thought was what America was all about. But she was saying that instead of the melting pot, she was proud to be a Latina. And then so I posed the question that if I'm proud to be white and she's proud to be Latina, and then the guy beside me is proud to be black, then that creates racism. That does nothing to help solve the problem of ending racism. It just furthers it if people are more concerned of what skin color they are and being proud of that instead of being proud of being an American. And we actually had a guy in the group named Daniel Rodriguez. He's a veteran and he's on the football team, but he was shown a big thing. He said in other countries they're proud to be whatever they are, Hungarian or whatever he was saying, and that in America people are more focused on being being from Kansas, like the lady was saying she was. She's more focused on being a Latina from Kansas and moving to Clemson than she is about being American. And I think that's why our country still has problems with racism when other countries are past that. And she was trying to say racism is not letting someone do something because of what color they are. I don't think that's even really a real thing in America anymore. People are allowed to go eat wherever they want to eat, and people can ride in whatever bus or take a train with anybody. So that wasn't even really a valid response in my opinion, because I think the racism in America today is what she was saying is she's more proud to be a Latina and I'm more proud to be white than we are Americans. So we're not gaining any progress in being a society without racism. But and for why do we do this for Library 100? I think this opened my eyes to what's around me. I never really thought about it, but I live in Bennett Hall, and there's only one other African American male in here, so it's a bunch of white guys and then just him. I've never really thought about that until I was in this discussion. So I guess it's a useful tool. It it lets people know how and why things are the way they are. They were talking about how the only African American symbol is the Gantt Center, and everything else is a bunch of Caucasian males from the South, but which is understandable because most of those people were from the time period before blacks were even allowed on campus. So I don't really know what the whole thing was getting at. The stats they gave were good. 91% of the people being Caucasian on campus. That was kind of eye-opening. I didn't realize our campus was that not diverse. I don't know the word to use, but there was only 5 or 6% African American and 2% Latino, or whatever the stats were. I didn't know it was that segregated of a campus. But my whole group was almost all Caucasian, so our whole mindset as a group was that we were all the same. So it wasn't really as much of a dialogue as a discussion as it could have been, because whenever she posed a question, almost everybody agreed with it except for 3 or 4 people. So that part we didn't get as much out of that as we could have. But as for the thing as a whole, I think it does accomplish its goal. It let me see our campus in a different perspective as I've always looked at it. I've been around Clemson my whole life, but I'd never really noticed that the way that people are treated are different. I've just always kind of like, if you're a Clemson fan, you're a Clemson fan. It doesn't really matter, but I guess that's why we have these. But thank you for listening.